Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Libra. So the sun is in Pisces, and Pisces is the moon. And so there is a little bit of a strange energy happening, right? Because the moon doesn't like so much the attention. And here in Osho Zen Tarot, it's the past lives. Now the sun is giving the light to the moon, which is in your sign. And so through the sun, the moon is giving the moon the energy to look deeper and to recognize what can I still achieve in a sense of making things equal, making things balanced out, noticing that the black and white, the two pillars, the scale, the two hands, everything is duality here in this dimension, and that is also the important point to understand that through duality, which creates of course also the suffering, but through that we also get the new generation, we get the existence of the next moment, right? Otherwise everything would be just still. And that's what we feel, or a lot of near-death people talk about. It's that they feel when they arrive in the other dimension, it's perfect, it's beautiful, it's stunning what they experience there. It's this wholeness, and it's incredible. Pisces gets ruled by Neptune, and Neptune rules your dreams and also your mind. The yoga position for Pisces is again here fish pose, and here the two salamanders that are guarding the portal, because the two hands form a vagina, right? We are coming again and again into this life. Here upward and downward dog are the guardians of that dimension, of that portal. You are getting ruled by Venus. Venus rules beauty and love, but also money. And here you are in the yoga position, squatting on your tiptoes, holding the namaste in front of your heart, and the sword is pointed to your third eye, and you find your equilibrium deep within you. So here, this combination today is gonna inspire you to look deeper into your subconscious, because the moon is in the sun. And so that's a very interesting combination. You are the Queen of Swords. You cut the ego off, right? And you do that in a mental way. Is your birthday between September 12th and October 12th, then this is your court card. If not, look in the description below. I have listed all of them there. You are the 7th house of love and relationships. Very important to you, right? You are also communicating in the relationship, and as Libra, you are the one that loves beautiful things, right? You are, you love to create beauty, right? Beauty is important for you. So Neptune is also ruling the Hanged Man, and we are looking into the Hanged Man as an overall vision through the Creativity Oracle. And we're going to see where are you able to let yourself dive into on a creative path, right? Because the Pisces is not only spirituality, it's also art. And art is a way of expressing yourself, right? It's important that we do something. Gardening, cooking, sewing, making bread, doing things, right, with your own hands, creating things with your own hands. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be good for you, no one else. So this is the card. These cards are made out of fabric. Very beautiful. And the number is 72. And the name of this card is Nature. Go out in nature as much as you can, for its pure creativity can teach you everything you need to know. And so the Hangman is bringing you a 9, calculated together. This 7 is the emotional intelligence that we get when we are in nature, when we recognize how beautiful nature is. And the 2 is the High Priestess, right? Now here in the Hangman we have the 10, we have the Wheel of Fortune or the Magician, and then the High Priestess as well. So calculated together we get the 3, and here we get the 9, that's a 12. 12, the 3 is left. So the Empress is coming to you through the Hanged Man to know that you can be this person that is watching now nature unfolding. You see the horse, you see the moon, you see the cat, and you see things, right, when you look at this. And it's important what you see. It's not important what I see. I can explain to you the card, I can explain to you the numbers because I work with the numbers because they don't lie. The picture is then inspiring you to see something that no one else sees. And that's the power in the creativity, right, of each individual. So let yourself hang into nature and see what appears. And it appears that the Empress is coming, who is also ruled by Venus, by beauty, by love. And so you have already quite the message, right? Allow beauty, allow the Empress who gives birth to everything rule you, because then we get here on the position of the Fool, which is connected with Uranus, the Moon. And the Moon is exactly what gives now the light to the Moon. So the Moon, the 18, is then letting you know right now the Moon is challenging you, is making you look deeper into your subconscious. And so the 10 in the 18, again, the Wheel of Fortune, the 8, the strength we get in knowing everything is infinite. The 9 appears. So there's a 9-9 portal here, right? Because the 72 turns into a 9. 2 times 9, you get creative in completion, in the way you live completion. And you see how the child is plucking this fruit. There are 6 fruits in the tree, and the 6 is a magical number because it's the hexagram. And so you can see how the dog is facing the extroverted path, right, out to the full moon, and the child is facing the introverted path back to the new moon. And so here you are being inspired by Pisces. Pisces, who brings you past lives. And so yes, the past life, maybe you were a Pisces in that life, right? We never know. And Osho says it's not important. You need not to know. what you did in your past life. Only if you are really in big trouble and have a situation that you cannot resolve in this matter, in this dimension, then you need to go to another dimension to recognize maybe you created the problem there. Other than that, he says, focus on this life. This is all you need to focus. This is already complicated enough. You don't need to focus on more than that, right? So the 9-9 portal has inspired you here. And on the position of the Magician comes the Beauty Way. And that's exactly you, right? The 4 is Aries, your opposite sign, which is going to give you the full moon in the next month. So Aries is important here. The Beauty Way is important to you. You create beautiful things. And so the 4 and the 1 creates the 5 senses. And it's interesting because he has all 4 elements lying here on the table. All 4 elements, but he's the one and only that can actually control them. The one and only controls the 4. And that's the 5th sense, right? The 5th chakra. The higher up we go, the more subtle it becomes. And so the number 5 here is talking to you through the Magician. The Magician is connected with Mercury. And Mercury brings the information. Now I want to see what is happening here in the Beauty Way. And the 10 of Wands has come up here. And so altogether we get 15, and 15 is Capricorn. Now, the 10 of Wands is connected with the constellation Saturn in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is that I take action, I do things, but the 10 is usually an oppression. Now here in the Mother Peace Tarot, they're dancing themselves into a trance, the goddesses. And so the Beauty Way begins by dancing yourself into a trance. And then the 6 is left. The 6 is then again here the most magical number, right? The 6 fruits here on the tree where the child picks that one fruit. So the 6 is left in the Beauty Way, right? The 6, and you need to recognize that you can dance yourself out of oppression by coming into a trance, by coming into a higher consciousness. You are liberating yourself. So it's important that you understand that, right? Because otherwise you will have difficulty to understand deep in your subconscious, right, that these patterns are holding us sometimes prisoner. And so it's important maybe to look into what is it that makes me feel oppressed. And Capricorn is the one, right, that creates the dependency on the social status, on the career, on the things that we think are important here, right? And so the 15 is important as a number because you have the 5 senses. And then that one sense, here's 10. That one sense that that the Magician represents. And then we get to the 3rd eye, and it's through the 3rd eye that we can liberate ourselves, and we can open the 3rd eye by dancing. On the position of the High Priestess, we see the 5 of Wands. Now, you have 10 Wands and 5 Wands. Again, the 15 appears. And so the 15 as the devil, the attachment, or the being cut off of the source, you need to regain the understanding that your intuition is important. That's what the High Priestess brings you here in the Hanged Man, the 2. And also here in nature, the High Priestess, she knows how nature functions. Nature is dual. And so the 7 represents the Chariot, And in the Chariot, I see always an emotional intelligence that is important, that we need. And when we understand on an emotional level our intuition, and that the 5 of Wands is connected with the constellation Saturn in Leo, right? Saturn is connected with Capricorn, and Capricorn is always the world, or then the devil, right? We know that here in this dimension there are difficult things to understand, and there are games that we play, and only an emotional intelligence can help us to get out of that. And so again, you get a 6 here, right? You get a 6 here with the 15 of Wands, but you also get a 6 here with the Beauty Way, right? So you have a 6-6 portal, and in that you need to understand how to play the game. It's all a game, right? Sometimes I like, okay, let's play it. Then on the position of the Empress comes again the 6, the Lovers card, and 3 times the 6, they usually say it's the sign of the beast, but it's actually the hexagram, and it's here in the Fool, in the Child, in the tree. We have the 6 fruits, right? We have the possibility to pick those fruits, and the 6, the Lovers, is Gemini, and he's pointing directly towards the head, and you see here the triangle is splitting him into half. Should he go to the right? Should he go to the left, right? It's always duality, and he crosses his arms because he says, no, not right, not left, the center. I create a union through my arms, because Gemini is connected with the arms, and you are connected with the hips, and that's why the hips, it's like that balance, right? One foot after the other. We lift and we find the equilibrium just by walking. It's fascinating, right? And so here you get a 9 again. Then you have 3 times the 9, and 3 times the 9, you find power now in being in the completion. And the Empress that appeared when we create here these 2, right? The 3 was left. Then you understand that the Empress gives now birth to love, self-love, the 6, 3 times 6, the hexagram, right? It's letting you know you need to create your own happiness. You need to create your own loving energy deep within you. Then on the position of Justice comes the 8 of Wands. And the 8 of Wands, as we can see, is connected with the constellation Mercury in Sagittarius. So now you have 10 Wands and 5 Wands and 8 more Wands. I mean, that's like you really taking action. That's 23 Wands. And the 20 is, it's your calling now to take action. It's your calling now to act, to do, right? In a loving way, in a self-loving way. And so things happen really quickly, right, with the 8 of Wands. And so 23 Wands. And then the 3 again of the Empress is inside. She creates the love while she's doing, right? She's not letting herself get suppressed ever. And when she plays with the 5 of Wands, right, she plays like a cat, because that's what Leo does. And so here Sagittarius, right, is literally like pushing you forward into then the 23, and the 5 is left. Again, the 5 senses, notice them, observe them, and understand, right, that you have here twice Saturn, right? Saturn in Sagittarius and Saturn in Leo. And so Saturn, that intense planet, right, of the world and the devil, the 15 we had also, understand that that's where the challenge is. Otherwise we wouldn't grow. And so here the 8, you see that Mercury is saying, well, you can do things in a beauty way, right? Mercury here in Sagittarius says, well, but do the things in a really beautiful way, because then on the position of the Queen of Swords comes here Aries, the Emperor, your opposite sign. And the Emperor is literally sitting here and is like, okay, well, I guess we are gonna connect, you and I. We are opposite. And so the 7th house of relationship and partner, and here the Emperor is the 11. And the 11 is again the portal. The 11 is that you understand here that you are the 11, right? And so the 11 and the 8 can be a date, the 8th of November or the 11th of August. Up to you, right? You can make this your kind of special moment there, because I do not calculate the 11 together. But here came the 11 as well, through you and through the Emperor. So the 11 is the inner teacher, is a portal, and that portal brings you things really fast, right? Brings you Mercury, brings you an awakening, brings you an understanding that when you take actions, you need to really be focused, and that's what the Emperor brings. Be focused, be in the 4, be in the beauty way, the 4-4 portal that is talking here to you, and recognize how these numbers and of course the energy behind it talks to you, right? Then on the position of Pisces comes again the 8 of Wands. I mean, you are like, whew. So alone on this level, we have here an 8-8 framing the Emperor. And the Emperor is someone, he's so focused, he's so concentrated, he's connected with the Wands, he just takes action, right? In a way, my spiritual teacher always said to me, meditation is action, taking action, being present, right? And when we're present, we can take actions, and quick actions. And so here in Osho, we have traveling coming up, the 8 of Wands again, and you are traveling up that mountain, and here you are, this little person here, right? And you see then again that the 18, the 9 and the 8 is the 17. That's the star that is then understanding that Aquarius, Pluto that has moved into Aquarius, is going to change you, and you're going to travel again. And then of course the 8 is left, and the 8 is recognizing and understanding that the infinite power that we get, right, through the 8, the strength that we get through the 8, through the moon, here we can create new adventures, new travels, new going out. And so now you had 23 wands so far, plus another 8, that's 31 wands. That's a 4, right? The 3 again, the Empress, and the 1, the Magician, the Beauty Way. And so you get a 4-4-4 portal if I calculate all the wands together. 3 times 4. Be powerful in the way you see the Beauty Way, in the way you understand the lotus flower, understand the teaching, right? Nature. When we look at nature, we see the beauty. Here's the flower again. You see? I just see that. I mean, you see that? Yeah. So the Beauty Way, nature, we recognize how beautiful things are and how come that they are the way they are. And so the 8 is left here, right? And the 8 says travel. You're going to go travel. Then on the position of the moon, as a dream oracle, you get the last card, the number 64, Woodwives, adaptability. Then you can adapt. You see, it's almost like she's part of this picture. Very interesting. And so the 10 comes to you, the completion, but it's a combination of the 6 and the 4. The 6 again here, Gemini, the Lovers, and 4, the Emperor. You see now? This is a 10 and this is a 10. And so when you travel, recognize all of it, right? Become aware of how energies talk to us. And here the 18 again, the 9, becomes with the 10 then a 19. And the 19 is the sun. Then you can shine. Then you can be out there in the world and say, all right, what else is there, right? And so I wanted to, of course, to see what brings the Woodwife. And the Woodwife brings the Sun of Discs. And the Sun of Discs is Virgo, the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is like, he's focused. He knows what to do, right? He says, okay, now I have the 10 here and the 6th house of routine and work and health, which creates, of course, then a 16. And the 16 is the Tower. 16 is Mars. 16 says, well, certain things need to go so that you can focus, so that you can be here, right? Because we had the 10 and we had the 9, and that's the 19. The 10 is left, the 10 and the 6 is the Tower, and then of course the 7 is left. The emotional intelligence that I talked about, the emotional intelligence, that is your intuition. Your intuition lets you know always where to go, what to do, and that's where you're aiming at, that's where you're focusing at, that's where you're shooting the arrow, right? The arrow of love that is coming here down on top of his head, right? The sword that is pointing here to your crown chakra or to your third eye even, and that's where the liberation is, through the third eye, right? And so you are recognizing here the 7, how important it is to have a certain emotional intelligence, more important than anything else. Then on the position of the Sun, we get here the dark matter, the mystery, the 38. And the Sun is the 19, right? So you got here the Sun with, of course, the Moon together, the Woodwives, the adaptability, and in that you can shine, right? You can understand that that's helping you to find then the arrow and the goal that you have. But here the 10 plus the 38, which is then of course again the Empress and the strength, when we combine that we get the 11. And so the 10 and the 11 is like 3 times the 1. And 3 times the 1 means you have understood the empowerment, right? You have understood that here is a 1 as well of the 10. You have understood something. You have understood that the empowerment of the one and only is what we're looking for here in this dimension. And so the dark matter is coming, right? In this 3 times 1 portal here, and that's like you powerful by knowing how the one and only energy works. But I wanted to see why is the dark matter here, and so you getting here the 6 of Wands. And so it's really crazy, right? When we were here at the traveling, you had 31 Wands. 31 Wands plus 6 is 37 Wands. 37 Wands is the 10. And this 10, again, like I said, is you are awakening. You are recognizing that here something is talking to you. Now, the Six of Wands is reverse, and it's usually the victory, right? That you are recognizing something, that you are understanding something. And I just want to read to you the Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands, I'm going to put it upright. She's a leader who has risen and taken her place on the wheel of fire. Reverse. She's not able to express her power now. Is something stopping her? Does she lack the confidence? Okay, so as you see, right, here you are needing to understand the dark matter. You are needing to understand that the dark is the opposite of the light, that we always have duality. Like I said, right, it's like, sometimes it's so simple. It's the two columns, right? It's the two pillars. It's like the dark and the light. Nothing else. And so the 10, then with all the wands together, the 10 is left, right? Don't get suppressed. Never get suppressed. Fight against oppression, right? And it's sometimes a spiritual oppression. It's not like a physical suppression. It's like someone makes you do something that you maybe don't want to do. And so look into who takes the power away, right? Where is this dark matter coming from? And so the interesting thing is that you have here 3 times the 1 and the 6. If we calculate together, we get the 9. And so you have 1, 2, 3, 4 times the 9. 4 times the 9, always listen to your heart. That's where you know what is right and what is wrong for you, right? Even though there's not really a right and wrong, there just is creativity, there just is the material, there just is emotion, and there's just thought. And then on the position of the universe, we have here the pages of wands. And so there is something with the fire, there is something about taking action, right? And it's Aries, it's Leo, and it's Sagittarius. And of course you have here Sagittarius, the 10 of Wands. You have here Leo in the 5 of Wands, right? Then you have again Sagittarius here with the 8 of Wands, and you had twice. And if I just calculate on this level the 2, 8 together, I get again a 16. And the 16 says things gotta go. Things are gonna go that are holding you back from traveling, from going out there, because naturally you need to go out, right? And then you have here again Leo, right? Jupiter in Leo is the constellation with the 6 of Wands. And so Jupiter says you gotta go out there, you gotta make yourself big. And so all 3 fire signs are here, but particularly Aries, right? Aries is going to give you the light. And without Aries, you're not going to understand the dark matter, the liberation, and the butterflies that are flying off here. And see that she's dancing and the cat is here. And this is a very powerful moment, because then you get the 33 here, because the world is the 21. 20 is your calling. With the 1 of the magician, right? It's like you create the magic in this world, because you can see here all 12 zodiac signs, and inside the sun, inside the light, right? It's the 13 inside, framed in the 4, and the 4 came here through Aries. Aries is important for you, right? It's your opposite sign. It's giving you the light for your full moon in the next reading. And so the 3 and the 3 zodiac signs, fire signs, that are giving you the push, because you are air. Sometimes you're thinking too much. You need that push. I think you need all those wands to make something happen, something that is important, a project that is important. And the 3-3 portal is then the message that's saying, well, then you understand that this life brings us always through numbers or through synchronicities, the message, because the 33 is in the secret brotherhood, the 33 degrees of mastery. There's no 44 after that, right? The 44 you had, but there is no 44 degrees title anymore. 33, that's it. Because the 3-3 is again the hexagram, is again the number 6, right? The 6 fruits that you can pick here, right? The Lover's card, the understanding that you need to love yourself. Not need, you love yourself, and that's it. And no one can question that. And then you arrive at the end here in the Woodwives. The last card here in the Dream Oracle, right? Which creates then the 10 with the 4. And so it's clear, right? 33 is coming here and teaching you to be inspiring, to not give up on any dreams that you have, because that's where then the closing is here with nature, right? You understand that then you see nature in a completely different way, and then you can see that everything has its moment. And so Pisces is bringing you that moment, right? The 9-9 portal is bringing you that moment, and the 3 fits 3 times in the 9, and the 9 is also, of course, a very holy number. And so understand that Pisces is letting you know, yes, make that happen, whatever it is. Make that beauty way happen, right? Make the creativity happen that is slumbering deep within you, and use nature to bring it to the people, bring it out to the world, because that's where you understand that nature is also just showing, right? It's art. This is art. This is art. Everything is art in nature, right? And so we gotta connect with that, and that's the message here today for you. The Hangman is bringing you, go out in nature and see how beautiful things are, right? Don't we love to watch a cat? They're just so natural. They're just so themselves. And so focus on that, and know that in the next month already you're getting here Aries coming to you, letting you know that's when you get your full moon, right? And so I hope I see you in the next reading, because like I said, then the sun is in Aries and you have your full moon. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.